Hi guys, it's RampantFM, and today we are, it's just myself really, to cover basically preview the Lowland League Cup games, as well as going over some of the results of the last weekend of the Lowland League. BSC Glasgow ended their fantastic season with a 2-0 win over East Stirlingshire. They play on Friday night against Whitehill in the Lowland League Cup. Probably desperate to finish off a great season with some silverware, and obviously it's going to be hard for Whitehill, but I'm sure they'll be up for it. I think anything can really happen in cup football. Spartans finished their season. They managed to clinch top four from their Edinburgh rivals, or North Edinburgh rivals if you will, Civil Service, with a fantastic outing against Cumbernauld Colts. They won 6-2. Colts did go down to 10 men, but Blair Atkinson pretty much was on fire there. Fourth with Colts finishing 7th due to Shire having a better goal difference. It's going to be another one, a tough one for them in the Lowland League Cup. They play Kelty Hearts at Ainsley Park. Kelty, I think they've beaten Spartans this season. I was at both games actually. New Central Park was a draw and Spartans won at Ainsley Park. But again, two teams that will likely want to finish. I think a good season for Kelty, probably more so than Spartans, who would have liked to been a bit higher in the table. But it's cup football. Both teams will want to end the season off with some silverware as well. Civil Service Strollers, they didn't play last weekend. They were obviously awaiting the Spartans result, hoping to clinch top four, but they got fifth. A fantastic season from them. Very, very unlucky not to finish fourth against East Stirlingshire on Saturday. Both teams, there's been a bit of a record with these games. It's, I think, the one at Falkirk, I was at that game, Civil Service Strollers won 4-3, and the one at Christy Gillis, I think Shire won 4-3, so definitely one to look out for. I'll probably actually get to this game on Saturday, as I will the Spartans Kelty Hearts game on Friday. I was actually going to go to East Kilbride, but I think my missus is basically not happy with me because I've not really seen a lot of her, so I'll probably only head to the capital on Saturday. Dalby finished their season against Vale of Leven. It was a 1-1 draw. They play Edinsport in the Lowland League Cup. Both teams, I think they've got points to prove. I think Dalby will, want to again. They showed towards the end of the season that they're certainly capable of claiming a few scalps, and similar with Edinsport, they've obviously changed the way they approach their setup basically this season. It's not quite worked out for them as well as I think they would have liked, but certainly again another chance to end the season with silverware. They finished their season, they got actually defeated by University of Stirling, who basically won the uni battle, claiming 10th, with Edinburgh Uni only get an 11th. It was by a single point. We did have an interview with Chris Geddes with David Chandler.
Chris, a good way to end the Lowland League campaign with the victory.
Yep. Delighted to come away from home and get 4 goals. That kind of the last few games of the league have kind of summed up the way we play. If we can score first when we're on top and stuff, I think we can beat anyone in the league, but ultimately we don't score 4 every week or score first every week, and that's kind of cost us this season.
It was pretty much one-way traffic the first half, wasn't it? Plenty of chances and 2 goals, so you went in clear leaders at half-time.
Yep, I think we had the better of it. Don't get me wrong, Edgesport, the young player out wide, I can't remember his name, Jordan something, he had 2 great chances in between us scoring. So if he'd took them, the game would have been a lot different. But it was great first goal, long throwing in. They've cleared it to the edge, and Aidan Pedens half volleyed it, top corner, brilliant, 1-0. And then 2-0 right on half time, throw in down the wing. Aidan's flicked it on to Blair, and this is probably why he's going to Montrose, because he's picked the ball up out wide, went by 3 guys, and he's put it in the bottom corner. So to go in 2-0, brilliant, we were delighted with that.
And then second half, it was a different picture altogether. They defended with a very high line, and you just simply couldn't get at your half.
Yeah, I was actually surprised. Their formation at the start, I thought they would have played like that from the start, but Maybe they gave us a bit. They gave us respect. But yeah, they played high and wide. They committed 3 and 4 bodies up front, so it was like your kind of stick or twist. They were always going to have a spell, and to be fair, they popped the ball about really well, and they got their 2 goals. They came back, and obviously you're thinking then, right, can we see it out? Same as Kelty Hearts when they pulled it back to 2-2 against us. We've seen it out and again. So yeah, there was some sticky spell, and we got back to 2-2, but we showed great commitment, grit to come back and win.
2 great goals to finish off with. Just talk us through those.
Obviously great work from Blair. He plays it into the box. Tom has a miss hit with his left, we'll call it, and Craig taps it into the back post for 3-2. Bit fortunate, but the way our seasons went, we deserved some of that. And then the 4th goal, brilliant. We had 6 under 20 players in the 16 today due to injuries and suspensions and stuff, so to have 6 in your squad's excellent. And we brought young Callum Bremner on, who was player of the year for the under 20s this season. Again, Blair's done great work, cut it back, and Callum from the edge of the box side footed it right into the top corner, and even him, I'm not sure he expected a debut in the first team like that. So I'm really happy for the boy. He deserves it, and also the boys that were on the bench, they've deserved the opportunity to come with the first team as well this year.
Chris, thanks very much.
Thanks, David.
We obviously want to thank David Chandler for his fantastic work with Stirling Uni and helping out with Chris as well. You know, the interviews have been fantastic. He's pretty much offered us interviews through the whole, almost the full run of this show. I've obviously met David, and I hope to get to Stirling Uni a wee bit more next season. There was a few times that I was meant to go to Forth Bank, and I think twice I got ill because it was sort of during the winter, but certainly I think Stirling again, I think they'll be happy to win the uni battle. It's going to be tough for them in the Lowland League Cup. They're away to Gretna. Gretna have certainly improved towards the end of the season. They ended the season pretty well. They did get defeated by Gallifreydine Rovers 4-2 on the final day, but I don't think it would bother them too much. Kev Connolly was back scoring. University of Stirling, certainly I think they had been missing Kieran Hall, who I quite like, a really good, decent striker. I think he played for the under-20s, just before the weekend. So I think they were certainly missing him, like Sean Brown was missing for the Colts, who's obviously now moving to East Stirlingshire. As we know, I'm sure there'll be a lot of transfers and a lot of stuff to talk about towards the end. Gala, they actually have a cup bye, but they finished the season a respectable 8th in the league. Fantastic work by the guys down there, especially I think we shouted out the likes of Dean Shanks. Just basically fantastic work from the guys involved, and a lot of the clubs. Obviously Gretna are still looking for a new manager as well. Vale leaving versus Edinburgh Uni, I think it's probably one of the more tougher ones to call. Both teams, Edinburgh Uni's not been on the greatest form. Obviously they did get back to winning ways with a fantastic game against Vale. I think they won 6-0, but there had been circumstances which we didn't mention, with the goalkeeper getting injured and the gaffer having to go on goals, obviously. Ando, it might be a different situation now. Vale leaving at home. Edinburgh Uni, I think they lost their last game against Whitehill Welfare, who picked up their 2nd win of the season. Who obviously they'll be going out against BSC hoping for the best, but it's certainly going to be tough. The big game, obviously, East Kilbride versus Cove Rangers in the Lowland League playoffs. It's going to be tough. East Kilbride obviously beat Kelty 3-0 in their last Lowland League game. Very good outing. Very difference in class in a lot of ways. East Kilbride have got a lot of players there that are obviously league footballers, if you will. Kelty, they'll come on towards the next season like other teams, but East Kilbride just, I think, too strong at the moment, and I certainly think it'll be an interesting game against Cove. Obviously I would have made it, but as I said, the missus is, I think, wanting to see me, so I can't be too late on a Saturday, or I would have been heading through that way and maybe having a stop by off in Glasgow, but I'll have to maybe go to the capital to watch which should be a fantastic game against Civil Service Rollers and East Stirlingshire. The boys next week, Sean and Mozza, will be going to the away fixture. I think they're making the move up to Cove against which will be the second leg against East Kilbride. It should be interesting. Hopefully they enjoy their day. Unfortunately, I'm doing a bit of training, so no matter what happens this week, I'll probably miss most of the games next weekend. But it's only been a quick preview. This week, obviously, just being myself. I'm obviously used to talking to myself, doing these things sometimes. I did speak to Kev Marshall about the East of Scotland. Obviously, there's a playoff situation there, but the congratulations to the likes of Bonnyrigg, who had already won their conference. Pennycook just pipping Hill of Beef, and Broxburn obviously clinching Conference C as well. So congratulations to them. We'll go straight into that chat that I had with Kev Marshall. Welcome to the Catchup. We're going to do a segment with Kev Marshall, who's obviously been on the show before, and we're going to just basically talk through the East of Scotland, where the conferences have finished. A few games yesterday, obviously, that sort of went to the death, and we're going to obviously talk through basically the Premier League next season, and obviously the playoffs going into the Lowland League. How are you doing today, Kev?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, pretty good. It's a wee bit too hot to be indoors doing this, but I appreciate you coming on.
That's alright, you're welcome.
So, we're obviously going to talk East of Scotland, mate, and you've been to a lot more East of Scotland games than I've been to, so hopefully your knowledge is better than mine. So,
well, if not, I can make it up.
But I think we'll start with Conference A, which obviously went to the final day of the season. Hill of Beef got 5-1 against East House's Lily. Pennycook just needed a result, and they drew 1-1 with Musselburgh, who were third place. I feel, obviously we're both from Fife, and I know you go to Hill of Beef games. A wee bit sort of disappointed that Hill of Beef never got there in terms, but in terms of Pennycook, obviously I know the likes of Craig Stevenson and Scott McKenzie, who's went there from Gala, so I'm really happy for them boys, but a very hard one to take for the Haws.
Yeah, I think so. I was at a function in Hill of Beef Club on Friday night, a sportsman's dinner, and all of the players had been banned from attending, so they were obviously taking it seriously, and I think even just with maybe 10 minutes to go in that game, Musselburgh were leading Pennycook, so they were pretty damn close to pulling that off there, and they have been breathing down Pennycook's neck pretty much all season long, so I guess they will be a little bit disappointed, but I think probably in the cold light of day, I think they can be pretty pleased with their season overall. They've done really well, home and away all season. I think have Hill of Beef. I actually saw something on social media yesterday that said Pennycook hadn't won against Musselburgh in quite a long time, and that's a bit of a local derby, so it might not have been too much a shock if Musselburgh had got a result there, but I think in the end Pennycook done just enough and probably deserved to be champions of that conference.
Absolutely, and obviously you've got the kind of two the hitmen of the league, if you will. Obviously Wayne McIntosh for Pennycook, who's scored over 30 goals this season. I think 4 hat tricks, and then Matty King off the brother, who's 3 hat tricks, and he's in the high 20s in terms of goals. I think I read again social media. I read somewhere. Pennycook's league fixtures had featured, over 100 goals, while it was the same with Musselburgh. So we definitely didn't get goals yesterday, which ended in 1-1. But I'm assuming, I think Pennycook just needed the result there, obviously, and I think they'll be happy or delighted rather that they just got a result and sealed the title in a very tight affair in the league. 1
point at the end of the day was what separated first and second, so that just shows you how close that conference has been all season long. Musselburgh as well, I think, in third. They did have. I actually caught Musselburgh at Hill of Beef a wee while ago, and they pinched it. They won. I think it was 2-1, if my memory serves me right. And that probably, well, looking back now, that might have been the result that kind of blew it for Hill of Beef as well.
Absolutely. We'll move on to Conference B. It was obviously a bit more dead set. I think Bonnyrigg Rose kind of ran away with it in the end. They had the best goal difference for any team throughout the three conferences. Only one defeat. I think it was not so long ago against Bo'ness United, who obviously finished second. Dundonald obviously finishing third. A great season for the Bluebell. Tranent Juniors. And as I mentioned to you, I think Crossgate's really, really decent season to get into the East of Scotland Premier division, which obviously we'll get into a bit later. But that conference, I think it's tough. But between B and C, I think they're probably were the tougher conferences in terms of the teams that were in there. And as I said, Crossgate's, I think, have done a fantastic job to make fifth place in that league.
Yep, I agree. I know one or two people who do a bit of work behind the scenes, including one of the photographers at Crossgates and the guy who does the physio. So they'll obviously be very happy with their season, considering where they were probably 18 months ago. They were almost out of existence. It's been a really good season for them. And obviously being kind of local to that sort of area, I've got a wee bit of a soft spot for them as well. But I think just to highlight the strength in that league, Lothian Thistle, who I think I've mentioned before, pushed Kelty all the way to the last day of the season in the East of Scotland last year, finishing. Looks like they're going to finish 7th, so outside of the automatic Premier League places. So that just shows how much strength is at the top half of that league.
Absolutely. And similar to yourself, I actually lived in Crossgates for I think 6 years. One of my sort of regrets is I never got down to Humbug Park as much as I would have liked at the time. But yeah, the guys have done fantastic, and I think it's the same with Bonnyrigg. I think there'll be depending on what happens with licensing and the playoffs, I think they would be an excellent addition to the Lowland League. Certainly Bo'ness, obviously handing Bonnyrigg their first defeat of the league season, or their only defeat of the league season, should I say. And obviously we know about Dundonald. A lot of the boys that were at Kelty have obviously went there, and overall, I think East of Scotland, similar to the Lowland League, has been absolutely fantastic this season. I just think it's just going to go from strength to strength now when we basically get the Premier League next.
Yeah, I'm already looking forward to next season's Premier League, and this one hasn't even finished, to be honest, because when you look at the lineup, it is almost a carbon copy of last season's Super League, but it does certainly look like it's going to be a very competitive league next season.
Absolutely. We'll get into the final conference, Conference C. Broxburn Athletic pretty much done the business on the day. They were away to Stirling Uni, obviously East of Scotland, and won 4-0. Linlithgow were kind of close to them, but they got defeated by Jeanfield Swifts 2-1 on the last day. I'm sure Jeanfield would have thanked you for not turning up, so
Absolutely, aye. As you know, Chris, there's a bit of banter flying back and forward between me and Scott Cummins, the Jeanfield. He's I think the secretary and also the goalkeeping coach, and he did remind me that of all the times I've gone to see him this season, they've only won one game. So any time he sees me coming through the gates, he has that look on his face. But it's a place I really like going, Jeanfield. It's a lovely wee ground. They are a really decent side, and I'm always welcomed warmly up there, banter aside. So I was really pleased to see them get a result against Linlithgow yesterday. You and I watched them a couple of weeks ago over at Linlithgow, and I felt they were a wee bit unlucky not to take something from that game. So like I say, I was really glad they got that result.
Absolutely, and obviously I spoke to Chris Dodds of Kelty, who's had the experience with Jeanfield, and he obviously highlighted a few of the boys there, but and he mentioned obviously the fact their plans of obviously trying to get into the Lowland League like many other teams. They've had a fantastic season. It's not a team that I know. Obviously, I know a bit of Linlithgow, probably Camelin a wee bit more than the likes of Broxburn and Jeanfield. But again, another we mentioned it about Conference B, but certainly another tough league. I think there's another shout out to the likes of Blackburn United, who David Severs supports and does great work with. He's the guy that does all the attendances for the likes of East of Scotland and Lowland League's proper community club. Does his best to support to promote them as a club, I should say. And I've not had the privilege of seeing them yet, but certainly hoping going into next season I can see more East of Scotland teams. Again, it's been a solid conference. I think we both saw Camelin, I think, in the Football Nations Cup when they got beat by Kelty. Obviously I mentioned that with Dodgy as well, but I think really strong outfits, I think, in a lot of them conferences, I would say.
Absolutely, aye. And we can't no mention Broxburn as well, because I was really impressed with them when I saw them. It'd be a few weeks ago now. And again, I think they always looked pretty comfortable at the top of that league. Linlithgow were always chasing it a wee bit. So I think again, Broxburn well-deserved winners of that conference in the end.
Absolutely. And we kind of touched on it, but we don't know what's going to happen with the likes of the membership applications or the licensing, if you will. But whoever wins the playoffs is definitely going to be in the Scottish Cup, which is obviously great for whoever wins it. We'll go through the dates, I think, just to let people know who might not be. But next Saturday we've got Pennycook versus Broxburn. Following Wednesday, May 1st, we've got Bonnyrigg versus Pennycook, and finally Saturday the 4th of May, Broxburn versus Bonnyrigg. It's kind of like a round robin, if people are kind of unfamiliar, but all teams will play each other, and I think it's just pretty much the best best results and stuff like that. I think I'm not sure if goal difference and stuff come into it, Kev. I think it's just basically a mini league sort of thing, isn't it?
Yeah, there will obviously have to be some sort of tie-break criteria there, but I guess everybody will be hoping it just gets sorted out purely on the results there. Looking at it, some cracking games on paper, especially that last one, Broxburn Bonnyrigg. I think that might be the game of them all. I would guess Bonnyrigg probably going into that as favourites, probably deservedly so. But if we can say anything about that league, Pennycook, like I say, they've been under pressure all season long, and they've kept it going, and they've got the results when they've needed to. And like I say, Broxburn beating Linlithgow to the championship in Conference C. So I don't think you could write any of those sides off, even though probably the bookies would maybe make Bonnyrigg favourites.
Absolutely not. I've said it pretty much all season in terms of the Lowland League, and I think it's clear certainly in East of Scotland as well. But I think any team on their day can beat any team, especially off like a one-off playoff situation. I think it's massive pressure for the boys, but I wish them. I think any team there, I think, would be an excellent addition. Depending on licensing and stuff, we keep going on about it, but we don't know ourselves. I'm assuming, I think I've pretty much got it in my mind that it's going to be 2 East of Scotland teams that come up anyway. Obviously,
yeah, I think that's probably right.
Yeah. So there's a lot of wait and see, but we're obviously trying our best to go with what we know. Top scorer, it was Thomas Coyne off Linlithgow. 39 goals, 10th season at Lithgay. I think he's their all-time top scorer. I think he was like 10 more than Wayne McIntosh at Pennycook. What a season Thomas had there. A known goal scorer, obviously. He's been at Lithgay, a decade. I think they finished the season with the most goals throughout all the conferences. I think it was just one more than Bonnyrigg. I think it was 106. Fantastic effort. Linlithgow just probably unlucky not to beat Broxburn in that top spot. But at the end of the day, I think all the winners deserved completely to win the conferences.
Yeah, I think if you look at all those conference tables and you see the numbers in the win, lose, draw columns, a lot of those teams have only dropped a very small handful of points, and therefore, there was absolutely no breathing space at all. You couldn't afford to. You had to take every game as a must-win game in order to earn your place in that Premier League. So it didn't take much for you to just one or two bad results, and that's probably what cost your season.
Absolutely. I mean, if you look at the likes of how tight it was, Hillabeef, Pennycook only lost once, but they drew 3. Hillabeef lost twice, drew. It was a point in it basically. Conference C at Broxburn, they only lost twice, they never drew a game. Linlithgow only losing 3 times and only drawing the 1, so it's fine margins really, and so it's a bit gutting for some of the teams that missed out there. And I'm assuming it would have been the same for the teams, in that sort of best place 6th spot down to 7th, who missed out just on and getting to the Premier League, if you will, automatically.
Aye, and there are some teams who are sitting sweating now on the outcome of the on the playoffs, because that might obviously bump one of them up into a Premier League spot. But I think the guys in the automatic places, they'll be enjoying their summer and looking forward to getting back to it come August time.
Absolutely, and I think again we've talked about the strength of the Lowland League, but East of Scotland Premier. We'll just go through a wee bit of a rundown of the teams that have actually officially in. I've not included the likes of Pennycook, Bonnyrigg or Broxburn because they're in the playoffs, so I don't think they need to be mentioned. We'll see what happens there, but certainly Bowness United, Newton Grange Star, Dundonald Bluebell, Dunbar United, Hillabeef, Crossgates Primrose, Linlithgow Rose, Tranent Juniors, Blackburn United, Musselburgh Athletic, Jeanfield Swifts, Camelin Juniors, and obviously Whitehill Welfare coming down from the Lowland. That has the makings of a cracking league, and certainly one that's going to be competitive. It's just a fantastic league. I think it's looking really good for next season in terms of the football we cover, Kev.
Absolutely, aye. Like I say, it does have a look at the last season's juniors Super League about it, but that's not a bad thing either, because there were some cracking games in that league last season. Looking forward to getting to see some of those teams again that maybe I haven't seen as much as I would have done this season. But aye, there'll be some old rivalries getting renewed again, some old faces to see again. So I can't wait actually for next season already.
We're both from Fife, but I'm really looking forward to Hillabeef, Crossgates, Hillabeef, Dundonald, these sort of games where you obviously mentioned the rivalries, but obviously a lot of sort of mid-Lothian teams there, or Lothian teams I should say, and obviously Linlithgow still in the mix there as well. So and I think there was a rivalry brewing a wee bit with Jeanfield over the season.
Aye, I think so. Aye, there probably some a lot of teams in there this season who'd never met each other before, or maybe hadn't met each other for quite a long time. So I'm sure the fans enjoyed the days out at new places and getting to see new grounds and meet some new people. And like I say, maybe next year back to some more familiar places.
Absolutely, mate. Is there anyone that deserves a wee bit of a mention from the games that you've been to, from the teams you've seen? A team of the season, if you will. You might just get a bit of heat for that.
I'm steering well clear of that. Obviously the teams that I've probably seen most have been Hillabeath, Jeanfield, and maybe Dundonald. I think we've already mentioned on this podcast Lewis McKenzie at Dundonald. I think is a cracking player, and we might be seeing a wee bit more of him next season. A couple of guys at Hillabeath that really spring to mind. Callum Adamson, who was there to begin with, and then he went off to Berwick Rangers. But I had a lot of time for him as a player. I really liked him. Another guy, a couple of guys. There's a young guy who plays left back, left midfield, who I think really sticks out for Hillabeath on his day. Lyle Kellican. I think he's a cracking young player. The guys up front, Joe Kirby, I think is a real talent. Maybe just a wee bit on the light side. Maybe need to get a couple of McDonald's into him. And I really like him. He's a cracking player. Up at Jeanfield, guys I've probably mentioned before, Conor McLaren I really like.
Yep.
Paul Simpson again, one of those kind of midfielders that is entertaining and exciting every time he gets on the ball. So these are the guys, like I say, that I've probably seen a lot more of than any other teams. I hope I'm not missing anybody out, but those are guys that have stuck out for me this season.
Obviously want to thank Kev for coming on. As I said, guys, it's only a quick one this week. I would have liked to have gotten out earlier, but a lot of obviously people busy coming towards the end of the season, and we'll obviously be back. These guys obviously saw my team of the season. I know some people weren't happy, but Sean and Moza should have theirs out soon, and then obviously we're going to discuss it possibly next week, depending on what happens. And we'll keep you up to date with everything that's going on. Obviously, thanks for all the support as always, especially with the Chris Dodds interview that I had with him over at Kelty. Really good hype for that. We obviously plan to do more of them sort of thing with different guys, probably more towards next season. Or maybe just before, but we'll wait and see how it goes. As I say, thanks for all the support, thanks for listening in, the support of the clubs, the fans, the players, the management, all appreciated, the support of the league, and obviously George Fraser. I've been a Rampant FM. Hopefully you enjoyed this wee catch up, if you will, no pun intended, and I will see you soon.